Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something I think, well, pretty much everyone struggles with at some point. It's that gap, right?
That gap.
Yeah,
Right.
between the life you sort of want, where you feel in control, you speak up, you hit your goals, and the life you might actually be living. The one maybe held back by habits or fear or just inertia.
Ah, yes. That feeling of being managed rather than managing. That's exactly what Josef Kirschner zeroes in on. We're digging into his work on self-management today.
Kirschner. He had an interesting background, didn't he? Advertising, TV.
Right. He saw firsthand, how modern society kind of shapes and, well, sometimes coerces people. His whole premise is pretty stark. Learn to manage yourself, or you will be managed by others, by their goals, their ambitions, often manipulatively.
It's about building defenses then, not just self-improvement.
Exactly. Freedom is conditional, he'd say.
Okay, so he offers a way out. 6 formulas you mentioned, simple ones.
Simple, practical, and we're starting right at the bottom, the physical level. Techniques 1 and 2.
Lay it on us. Technique 1.
It sounds almost too simple. Learn conscious, correct breathing.
Breathing. Okay, I
Mhm.
mean, we all do it. What's the big deal?
Well, think about how we breathe when stressed or scared. Short, shallow breaths, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's your body basically sending panic signals nonstop. Kirschner says conscious, deep breathing isn't just relaxing. It's the most direct way to regain control, instantly. It lets you steer your thoughts and actions instead of just reacting.
Okay, so it's an active intervention, not passive.
Precisely. It's a tool. He gives this great example, actually.
Yeah.
A tax office worker, 44 years old, terrified of the phone ringing because her boss was, well, abusive.
Oh, I can imagine. Horrible situation.
Totally. So her strategy using this technique, when the phone rang, she wouldn't just grab it. She'd pause, close her eyes, take one slow, deep breath. And as she breathed out, she'd repeat this little phrase to herself. I am very relaxed, and I am not afraid.
And that worked. Just
Yeah.
one breath.
It broke the immediate fear cycle. That physical act gave her the space to manage the call instead of letting her anxiety manage her. It's about using your body to override the panic signal.
Wow. Okay, that makes sense. A circuit breaker. So if breathing is the breaker, what's technique 2? You said creating distance.
Yeah. Technique 2, learn to completely relax instantly.
Well, instantly.
Because most of us, Kirschner argues, are worn down by constant stress. Environmental stress, sure, but also our own impatience. And that exhaustion makes us vulnerable, easily managed.
Like being too tired to resist.
Exactly. So you need to be able to snap into relaxation. He uses the analogy of a boxer, like creating distance mid-fight to regroup. You feel that tension rising. You need to resolve it right then.
Oh. What's the practical method?
It's simple again. Pair the deep breath from technique 1 with forcefully raising your shoulders up towards your ears, then dropping them hard, like you're literally shrugging off the tension.
Okay, breathing and a physical release.
Right. And the crucial thing here, linking back to avoiding manipulation, is this. Never make a decision. Never act while you're feeling that pressure, that tension.
Wait until you've consciously relaxed first.
Yes. Use the breathing, use the shoulder drop, create that space. Techniques 1 and 2 are your first line of defense. They give you perspective so you don't get pushed into something against your own interest.
Got it. Secure the physical base first. Then what?
Then we move inwards. To the engine room, you might say, our thoughts.
Which brings us to technique 3.
Technique 3. Learn to use your thoughts as the engine and fundamental power for your actions.
So moving from just reacting and calming down to actually directing things proactively.
Exactly. Constructive thinking. Instead of letting your mind spiral into worry or defeat or just seeking comfort, you consciously use ideas to fight off those anxieties that stop you.
Because if you don't steer your thoughts,
Someone else will steer them for you, for their benefit. It's about replacing those negative thought formulas we all have.
like what? Give me an example in that manipulation context.
Okay, a classic negative one, especially dealing with authority figures, let's call him Mr. X, like in the source. The thought might be, oh God, I hope I didn't mess up. Mr. X is going to criticize me. It's anticipating defeat.
Right. Putting yourself down before anything even happened.
Exactly. The positive alternative needs to dismantle that power dynamic. Something like, Mr. X means nothing to me. What he says doesn't concern me.
That sounds tough to believe in the moment.
Yeah.
Especially if Mr. X is intimidating. It's not just about positive thinking, is it? It's about cultivating indifference.
Precisely indifference. That's the key. And you're right. You can't just flip a switch under pressure. Kirschner is very clear on this.
So how do you make it stick?
You install it beforehand when you're calm. You repeat the new positive indifference-building formula like, Mr. X means nothing to me, or maybe something gentler like, my fear is insignificant. You repeat it 10, 20 times.
You embed it.
Yes. You build it into your sort of mental archive. So when the stressful situation hits, you use technique 1, breathe, and technique 2, relax, to create that tiny gap.
And the new thought can pop up.
Automatically, or at least more easily. It becomes the default reaction over time. And importantly, avoid aggressive thoughts like, I will crush Mr. X. That just creates more tension. Indifference is the goal. This doesn't affect me.
Okay, indifference, not aggression. Got it. So breathing, relaxing, redirecting thoughts. What's next?
Technique 4. This one is about harnessing a power we often misuse. Learn to imagine that you can overcome every difficulty easily.
Ah, imagination. Yeah, mine often works overtime on the worst-case scenarios.
Doesn't everyone's? We imagine the dentist drill hitting a nerve, or a tiny ache being some terrible disease, or like going into a meeting and just picturing it going horribly wrong.
Preparing our excuses before we even start.
Exactly. We visualize failure. Technique 4 is about flipping that script, training your imagination to be constructive, to be a motor for success.
So instead of picturing the disaster,
You visualize yourself succeeding, feeling confident, handling the challenge smoothly, like that tennis player example.
right, the one who kept losing because he was too busy imagining his opponent's killer serve and planning what he'd say afterwards.
Yeah, he stopped doing that. Started only visualizing his own winning shots, feeling the victory. His game improved massively, sure, but he also started enjoying it again.
So positive imagination, T4, reinforces the positive thoughts, T3.
It builds conviction, real self-trust. And that trust, that belief you can do it, is the essential launch pad for actually taking action.
Which seems like a good lead-in to Technique 5, the internal conflict.
Perfect transition. Technique 5. Learn to control the game between the first self and the second self.
Okay, explain these selves.
Kirschner keeps it pretty straightforward. The first self, that's your thinker, your planner. It analyzes, decides, strategizes.
That's the rational mind.
Pretty much. The second self, that's the doer. It acts, executes, often intuitively, spontaneously. When they work together smoothly, problems just seem to solve themselves.
But they often don't work together smoothly.
Nope. The classic problem is the first self, the planner, jumping in and messing things up right when the second self needs to act.
How?
By injecting doubt, fear, hesitation. Like telling a non-swimmer who's instinctively treading water, hey, you can't swim, you're going to drown. That thought, that first self-interference, paralyzes the intuitive action of the second self.
The inner critic strikes at the worst moment.
Always at the moment of action. So the goal of Technique 5 is to keep the first self focused on planning beforehand and stop it from interfering during execution.
How do you stop your own thoughts like that?
Yeah.
Especially when you're anxious.
Use the tools again. When you notice that first self piping up, should I really relax now? What will people think? Or maybe I shouldn't say this. You intervene consciously.
With another formula.
Yeah, a specific kind of formula to shut down the interference. Something direct like, stop thinking. The second self does what is right spontaneously.
You're telling your thinking mind to back off.
Exactly. It forces the action, lets the second self proceed with the plan the first self already made, without that last-minute self-sabotage. It's really about integrating T1, T2, T3, and T4 to make sure T5, the action, actually happens.
Okay, that ties it all together nicely. The physical calm, the mental direction, the imaginative conviction, all to enable conflict-free action. But knowing this isn't enough, right?
Absolutely not. Which leads directly to the final technique, Technique 6, and the principles for making it all stick. Technique 6 is identify what will be beneficial for your future life and work on it constantly.
Constantly. That's the hard part. Knowledge is useless without practice.
Utterly useless until it becomes a habit. And Kirschner knows this, so he provides 6 principles for that continuous work. This is the make or break part.
Let's break them down. What's the first principle?
Start slowly. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. Increase the dosage step by step. 5 conscious breaths a day to start. When that's easy, maybe 10. Or try one positive formula in one specific situation.
Avoid overwhelm. Keep the rhythm.
Exactly. Breaking rhythm is where people fail. Which connects to the second principle. Set clear goals.
Not just vague intentions like, I'll try to be calmer.
No, absolutely concrete. Daily. Measurable. Write it down. Today, 9 a.m., take 5 deep breaths before checking email. Or, when I meet boss Y at 2 p.m., I will use my indifference formula. Use a planner. Track it. Plus, for success, minus for failure.
Accountability.
Mhm.
Makes sense. What's next?
Third, act immediately. Once you've decided when and where you'll practice, say, deep breathing the moment you feel stressed, just do it. Don't pause to ask, should I do it now?
Cut off that first self-hesitation again.
Right. Hesitation breeds tension and excuses. Just act. And fourth, really important for motivation, view work as enjoyment.
Enjoyment. This sounds like hard work.
It is work, but frame it positively. See it not as a chore, but as your path to freedom, to growth, to feeling better. If you see it as a burden, you won't stick with it. Find the joy in taking control.
Okay, mindset matters. What about scaling up?
That's principle 5. Increase productivity consciously. Keep pushing yourself, yes, but gently. Only increase the effort, more breaths, more formula use, tackling harder situations to a level you're confident you can sustain without it feeling like a struggle. Steady, sustainable growth.
Makes sense. And the last principle.
Number 6, do it now. This is about focus, pure presence. When you're doing your breathing exercise, just focus on the breath, not yesterday's mistakes, not tomorrow's worries. When you're visualizing success, be fully in that visualization. 100% focus on the task at hand multiplies its effectiveness.
Start slow, set clear goals, act immediately, enjoy the process, increase steadily, and stay present. That's quite a blueprint for habit building.
It is. And underpinning all of it, Kirschner emphasizes one absolute necessity, making an unconditional decision, like a real commitment. He suggests literally writing a contract with yourself. I will practice these techniques, specify which ones, how often for 1 month without fail.
Removes the wiggle room. I tried, but excuse.
Exactly. You either did it for the month or you didn't. It forces commitment. So if you boil it all down, Kirschner's path to self-management has 5 core elements.
Okay, what are they?
Know what you want, plan how to get it, really identify with that goal, make it part of you, genuinely believe you'll succeed, and then, crucially, act.
It's striking how internal all of this is. Breathing, thinking, imagining, deciding. No special equipment needed.
None at all. You are your own resource, your own teacher. That's the beauty of it. Mastering this internal world, he argues, is the fundamental prerequisite for achieving anything externally and for gaining real freedom from manipulation.
So even just starting with that first technique, the breathing, could make a difference.
A huge difference. Think about it. That's the one thing you can control in literally any situation, your breath and therefore your immediate reaction.
So a challenge for everyone listening. What if you committed, just for the next month, maybe even just the next week, to practicing technique 1, conscious breathing when you feel stressed or pressured? What kind of power might you unlock just by taking control of that one fundamental reaction?